I'm going to share with you 4 automations you can use to make $1 million without hiring any more employees. And no, this is not just some ChatGPT tutorial. These are the actual automations that I've used and built into dozens of my companies to be more productive and stay ahead of the competition. So without further explanation, this is how to automate your business using AI. Automation number 1, outbound messaging. This one fixes the I don't have enough leads problem. You don't need a louder megaphone, you just need a smarter way to whisper. It's so funny to me that we've forgotten that business isn't B2B, it's H to H, human to human. And with AI, you can personalize it to actually interact with people in a very human way. I personally love to be in my DMs, but I have a lot of friends that I've taught to use AI to automate the outreach. I have a client that I taught this whole process I'm about to teach with you. And with one single person helping them with conversation and sales, they're making over $1 million a year more just by automating the outreach for people that are already following along. Cold DMs don't work anymore. Personalized DMs, those ones do. So if you want to do this yourself, this is exactly how to build an AI-powered sell-by-chat automation. First things first, we got to warm up some of these opportunities. The way I think about it, if that somebody follows me, that's just like an opt-in. I should talk to them. Somebody leaves a comment, I should talk to them. Somebody views a story on my Instagram, I should talk to them. With AI, you can be proactive and engage and do it in a way that's very nice, personal, and helpful, and actually generate real revenue for your business. The first thing you want to do is build a step-by-step process to document what does it mean to actually have a lead? How do you qualify somebody? If somebody follows me and they're a 97-year-old man that has 2 followers, doesn't have a business, and hasn't posted anything, probably can't help them, right? They might just be interested in some of the family content I post. That's why you have to define what's called the lead score. When somebody comes in, you say, this is what an ideal lead looks like, and you tell it to your team. The cool part is there's tools out there like GetRevio.com, that's what we use, that can build this whole process for you so that you can scale up that personal outreach. Number 2, you gotta make sure that you open those interactions like a real human, not a bot. So it's short sentences, minimal punctuation. When you're chatting with people on social media, act like you're chatting like a 12-year-old. It's a little bit, send, a little bit, send. If you copy and paste a bunch of text, guess what they're gonna think? This is a bot. This is pre-recorded. This isn't real. And it's so funny that if somebody thinks it's a bot, especially in the world of AI, they're just not gonna engage. A really simple example is if somebody follows you, you could just say, hey, Alex, appreciate the following, peeked at your website, nice work on the last acquisition. Are you here for the vids? Are you actually looking to try to grow your business? That's what I like to do. I like to look at their profile, look where they're at, mention something specific, and then ask them if they want some help. And then third, I want to use AI chat as a co-pilot to actually help me. That's why a tool like GetRevio.com allows you to get suggestions for what you should say when somebody asks questions. See, most people on your team are probably not trained in the process of selling. So Revio will give you the prompts that are based on what you've talked about so far that are specific to that chat message that your team can just look at and use that for inspiration. Even though you still need humans in the chat, you can remove the risk of losing a deal by having an AI co-pilot that helps you automate the sales pipeline process. It's so cool. It's like predictive text. You know, on your iPhone, when you're typing something that recommends a word, it essentially does that. You still need to click and send, but it'll help you figure out what to say next. And then fourth and finally, set up the AI automation to sequence follow-ups shamelessly. You want to set up a timeline for how often you follow up because the fortunes are made in the follow-up. You want to make big money on social media, make sure that you're engaging in a sequence that makes sense. So I like to use 24 hours if I don't hear back, 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, 21 days. That's 5 touch points. Most people give up after 2, but do it in a value-added way. Don't be annoying. Don't be like, are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Actually offer value. Hey, I noticed you posted this. Did you see this? Hey, we're doing this. Did you want to come? The cool part about using a tool that automates this is that humans will 100% forget to follow up, but AI doesn't. It can be smart, it can monitor, it can escalate, and it can have your team approve all those follow-ups for you so it still has a human in the loop. And look, oftentimes people are like, but I don't understand the whole process for selling over chat or social media, so I wanna give you my internal playbook. It's got everything, the exact flow, the 9 steps, exactly how to deal with objections. It is my gift to you, and it is based off of literally selling tens of millions of dollars of software over chat. So if you want a copy, just click the first link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen. So now that we've created a bunch more leads because you have a lot of people that are following up and calling and your business is getting busy, now we have to fix the qualifying part so we don't clog up the sales process. Automation number 2, the lead capture and qualifying. A chat does not mean it's a lead. It's the beginning of a conversation. When I look at the number one constraint across all my companies, it's usually lead qualifying. All those companies that have gone way past $1 million are able to automate their lead gen, the way I just shared with you, and then qualify them using AI. Building $1 million business doesn't take a huge team anymore. It takes the right AI automations. So if you want to capture leads and qualify them using AI, here's how you do it. The first thing we need to do is choose some kind of AI voice agent to essentially do the call to qualify the potential lead. I use a product called YourAtlas.com. It's one of my portfolio companies at Martell Ventures, but it is really cool. You can literally go to their website right now and have it call you to demo it yourself. I'll have all the tools I mentioned today listed below in the description, so just expand that and click it to try it out. What Atlas does is that it sits in between the lead capture and the qualifying steps. So if you have people calling your business, it'll take those phone calls. If you have people filling out lead capture forms through your ads or your social media or your chat, you're asking somebody for a phone number to have a call, it can then take that and call them to then ask them qualifying questions to see if they're even the right fit or ready to buy from you. I remember I was showing this to my father-in-law and I was like, hey, check out this new technology we built. And he's like, well, who's that lady? And I said, well, that's AI. He's like, well, you were talking to her. I said, I know, that's AI. And it broke his brain. That's the power of how good it can be. It sounds like a real person asking real questions and then guiding the person to the next step. It may be buying from you, or it could be recommending somebody else. You can set it up the way you want to. The next step is you got to give that tool access to your leads so you can automate the whole workflow. So a lot of people have some kind of lead capture tool like a CRM solution, like a HubSpot or a Salesforce or Go High Level. Then the tool should integrate with that. So when the lead comes in and it has a phone number, it can actually call them. I remember one time we were doing a bunch of lead generation with ads and the phone numbers weren't formatted properly. And somebody was struggling on the team to try to figure that out because it wasn't allowing the dialer where they were calling the automation to actually kick off. And they were like, I don't know how we fix the data problem. I'm like, how about we use AI? So all of a sudden, he just took the information that was being submitted, sent it over AI. It says, using this information, reformat the phone number so that it can be called through automation. The AI knew how to do that and then gave us back the phone number with the area code and the country code formatted perfectly so the call would go through every time. AI can solve a lot of your problems. And that's why you want to give the tool access to your CRM. Third is once you've done that, run the automation in tandem with an existing human employee so you can see the results. I would not just set it and forget it. You want to essentially say, okay, for every call that comes in, it's going to go, one's going to go to the AI, the other one's going to go to the person. One's going to go to the AI, one's going to go to the person. And then you compare the results. Fourth and finally, make sure to measure your success and tweak as needed. The truth is AI is so powerful. Sometimes the first time you implement it, it doesn't work exactly the way you want it. So you will have to tweak it and configure it. This solution is crazy powerful. I remember I had a client that had way too many leads, which is a beautiful problem to have. I think he had 6 weeks of his sales calendar absolutely maxed out. And I was like, bro, why don't you just have the AI call and ask one simple question? The question was, how much are you spending on Facebook ads per month? Once the AI could ask that question, figure that out, it could then respond by canceling the call and redirecting the person to a different solution, to different information. It wasn't a good fit for their company. That freed up those 6 weeks, brought it down to 2, but those 2 weeks of calls closed at 50%. I would rather have less calls that are actually qualified than just stay really busy talking to people that would never buy from me anyway. So now you've got a ton of leads. You've qualified them. You've sold them. Now we have to deliver with AI, which brings us to automation number 3, delivery and support. Speed is the key in onboarding. If somebody becomes a customer and they buy, I want to get them a result as fast as possible. Clients just don't want access. They want progress. And AI can help you do that at a record pace. The truth is, if you can get them wins in their life this week, they'll stick, they'll refer people, they'll upgrade within your business, and they won't leave. That's why you want to use AI to increase the speed to value. It reminds me of a client I was working with that was having a churn issue, and we just took the AI and really built a simple automation. He noticed that all the customers that got a win within the first week stuck around for 6 months. The ones that didn't get a win in the first week They usually churned after like 30 days, like 80% of the people left. So all we did is in the onboarding, there was a call that asked them, what's the fastest, smallest win we can create for you? And had them answer it. Then the AI took that answer and actually built the solution to solve that problem to get them value. He automated this whole friggin' setup. Within 60 days, churn dropped by half and referrals doubled. Why? Because all the clients felt progress instantly. The faster the customer wins, the longer they stay. So if you want to build this for yourself, here's how you do it. The first thing is we have to set up a trigger in your onboarding. When a client is signed, it triggers something. Maybe it's when the payment happens. You can use your automation software to monitor that. The moment that happens, you want to fire a workflow. We use N8N as an automation software, but a lot of people use Make.com or Zapier. The second step is you got to give access to your automation software so it automatically adds them to the right places at the right time. So if the transaction happens in the payment, then you might want to add them to your customer community. You might want to give them access to their project folder. You might even want to send them a calendar link to book in an initial kickoff call with somebody on your team. All of this eliminates all human delay and requires no person involved. The third is you want to get them that instant win. Talk to the customers that love you. And just ask them, what is it about the way we showed up when you first became a customer, or things that we've done in your life that you found really valuable that you can give us as feedback? Because if you can get that from them, they'll tell you what to front load in that experience. It is so crazy how you can get people wins that look like massive effort today that requires zero of your time. And then the fourth is you use that automation to do what's called smart nudges. If you think about it, there's certain steps that you expect your customer to do that if they don't do, would tell you that maybe they're not engaged. Maybe they haven't logged into your portal in 72 hours, or maybe they haven't clicked the link to schedule their first call, or maybe they haven't replied to an email. You can use AI to automate and monitor all these things in real time and then send smart personalized nudges using SMS and email, even a phone call, to get the person re-engaged. The fifth step is conversion triggers. I like to think about where are the times in a customer experience that I might trigger a message that would get them to upsell or extend or buy more. This one is where you're gonna make $1 million in your business, no problem, because it's easier to sell something to an existing customer than to sell a new customer. So if you sell a home to somebody, maybe 3 months before they're ready to move in, you send them an offer talking about lawn care and maintenance. You wanna figure out what are the other services that you have that you can help them with. Use AI to look at the timeline and what messages they've sent to then properly position that specific offer to them. I'm not talking about just like an automated trigger. I'm literally talking about customized proposals to people at the right time. So now the delivery, super smooth. But if you want to make an extra $1 million easily using AI, you need to protect your cash so you can actually get that $1 million to work for you even faster. Which brings us to automation number 4, financial system. This one makes me laugh because most pain in business starts by blind spots, meaning they don't have all the data. The entrepreneur's trying to build a business, but they don't actually know where their money's going because they're like running it off the cash in the bank. If you actually want to get to $1 million of new revenue using AI, you're gonna need to pay attention to your money in a completely different way. My philosophy is that if I can see the flow of cash daily, then I can fix it weekly. If I'm only getting a report once a month, I can maybe fix it every 6 weeks. Most people wait till the end of the year to get a report from their accountant and decide to go for a drink. Either drinking because they're celebrating, they're drinking because they didn't have a good year. That is not the way to run a business. In all of my companies at Martell Ventures, we've gotten all the financial processes automated, 92%. My head of finance literally spends most of his time in the automation tools, building the machine that runs the machine, not working in it. I want to talk to you about how you can do this today using AI. See, what you measure, you can multiply. So if you measure the money, you can multiply the money. Most people don't pay attention to the money and then they wonder why they don't have more money. So if you want to automate your whole financial system, this is what it looks like. The first thing, you got to connect. Connect the financial data. Where is it? Does it sit in your email? Does it sit in SMS? Does it sit in Slack? And what's cool is you can use the AI to automate this. New vendor comes on board, they fill out a form, and then you could call them using voice AI to then say, here's how we do payments, and here's how you can get expected, and this is where you submit your invoices, and we're gonna pay on this time. And if you have any questions, you call this number. And that number is tied to the AI that knows the backend system that can answer the questions to free up your team's time. Finance for sure should be the most automated part using AI in every business. because it has the most direct rules defined by the accounting people. The second part is to build the automations. And the key is use the tools that make the most sense. I use N8N, it's a bit more technical, but you can use make.com because it might be a lot simpler for you, but both will do the job. The key is don't just solve a problem because it exists, solve the right problem that's gonna save you the most time. That's using the theory of constraints. So for example, you wanna focus on automating weekly expenses first, not yearly tax reporting. Then third, once we clean up the financial data using AI and get the workflow going, we want to try to find the insights from the data using these AI products. So we use HelloFrank.ai, which tells us exactly how our money's flowing through the business. All my clients are using this to get a daily cash email so they can understand their cash position, what's coming up, what's spent, what money's going out. And that's just one way that they can interact using AI, because Frank lets you chat and talk and act like a freaking CFO for a fraction of the cost. The fourth is you want to identify a metric that drives your business and then create a dashboard. Again, many of these tools will do it, like Databox or Precision.co, that you monitor in real time. See, using AI, it can do a lot of like analysis and capture and then put it into a dashboard where you're making decisions based on real information in real time. That's why AI is changing the game when it comes to financial operations. For example, at Martell Ventures, we have one core metric, okay? It's our North Star metric, which is dollars deployed to enterprise value created. Because we build companies and we invest in those companies and we're trying to increase our enterprise value, which is equity ownership in these technologies, that's the number. There's a bunch of other data points that go into that report and we track those, but AI automates the whole thing. So that way my head of finance is not sitting there copy pasting into spreadsheets. Like, I know, if you're a financial person, I know what you do. I know you're on Excel, you're on a friggin' IBM laptop. I don't know why, and you don't like to talk to people a whole lot. I know where you live. Truth is, if you do this, making $1 million in your business will not just be possible, it will be easy. I have dedicated my life to the idea of buying back your time. That's why I wrote a book on it. AI, automation in your business, more than anything else I could teach you, will allow you to do that. Instead of you spending all your time in the business doing the work, I want you out there with your family, with your friends, having the time to be creative, to solve problems. And that is what AI has enabled us to do. Do not sleep on this. These aren't nice to haves, these are must haves. Please pick one and dedicate to it. You've done harder things. You've built the business to this point. Trust me, this is easier than what you've gone through. Don't pretend like it's harder than it is. Just make a decision today to go all in. And again, as a reminder, if you want access to my internal Sell by Chat playbook, just click the link below in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. Now, those are automations that will make you money. But if you want to learn how to use ChatGPT better than 99% of people out there, click the video and I'll see you on the other side.